Hello friends, welcome to a new episode of Drishti IAS editorial analysis. In this editorial analysis, we do three things. First of all, we link the editorial to the UPSC syllabus. Secondly, we try to understand the key points of the editorial. And thirdly, if any key concepts have come in the editorial and are important from exam point of view, we also discuss that. So let us begin today's editorial analysis.
Dear viewer, this video is available in Hindi as well. If you wish to watch it, please visit our Hindi YouTube channel, Drishti IAS. For your convenience, the link for this video in Hindi has been provided in the description below.
We have taken today's editorial from Indian Express and it has come on 8th of July. The title of the editorial is End of a Dream and it says Kuwait's indigenization drive points to impending return of migrants from Gulf and there will be challenges on both sides, on the side of Kuwait as well as on the side of the countries to which these migrants would return, including India. So now let us look at its linkage with the syllabus. So the editorial links directly with GS paper 2 where we have international relations. And under this it links with the bilateral relations that India has with Kuwait in particular and in general with the Gulf Cooperation Council countries. Also it links with effects of policies and politics of developed and developing countries on India's interests and Indian diaspora. Because by this action of Kuwait, Indian diaspora in Kuwait will be extremely affected. So after establishing the linkage with the syllabus, now let us look at the key points of the editorial. So before moving to the key points of the editorial, let us understand what the issue is all about. So here we can see in this map the location of Kuwait and this country is Iraq. All the countries which are colored in this color are members of Gulf Cooperation Council and there are 6 members in Gulf Cooperation Council, which include Saudi Arab, UAE, Oman, Qatar, Bahrain and Kuwait. The headquarters of Gulf Cooperation Council, which was established in 1981, is at Riyadh. And Kuwait is sharing its borders with Saudi Arab and with Iraq. Only these two countries. And here we are talking about the land borders. Now let us see what the issue is all about. So the Kuwaiti Parliamentary Committee has approved a draft law to set a quota system for expatriates. And if this is passed by the National Assembly, which is the Parliament of Kuwait and which has 65 members, it will reduce the strength of Indian community in Kuwait by up to 7 lakhs. And here we should know that the Indian community in Kuwait is the largest expatriate group, comprising 9,20,000 Indians. And the Kuwait's demography is very unique. Only 30% of the Kuwaiti population are locals, whereas 70% of the population is of expatriates. And among these expatriates, Indians form the largest group. Also another thing to note here is that the remittance that India receives from Kuwait is also significant and in 2018 it was around $4.8 billion. Now this draft bill is proposing that the number of Indians must not exceed 15% of the population of Kuwaitis. So the total population of Kuwait is around 4.8 million. And the Kuwaitis are only 30%, that is around 1.45 million. So the Kuwait government wants that the population structure should change from the current 30-70 in favor of expatriates to 70-30 in favor of locals and expatriates, where they will have 70% local Kuwaitis and 30% expatriates. But there are serious challenges confronting Kuwait. It is facing an economic downturn due to the reduced price and demand of oil. And here we should know that the Kuwaiti economy is heavily dependent on crude exports. Almost 50% of the Kuwaiti GDP comes from oil and 90% of the government revenue is also from oil sources. So this reduced price and demand of oil has affected the Kuwait economy very badly. Also, because of this economic downturn and this COVID-19 pandemic, there is a growing sentiment for reducing the number of expatriates, and this jobs for the local sentiment is gaining ground in Kuwait, as it is gaining ground in many other countries of the world and also in the Gulf Cooperation Council countries. So after this background, now let us look at the key points of the editorial. So the editorial says that Kuwait's move to reduce the share of expatriates in its workforce has deepened the fear of an exodus of Indians from the Gulf, because as per the draft bill in the National Assembly, the percentage of Indian citizens in Kuwait should not exceed 15% of the local population, which means almost 8 lakh Indians may have to leave Kuwait. And the editorial says that this is not a unique case with Kuwait. The trend is common in all the Gulf Cooperation Council countries, and India must face the possibility of a migrant exodus from West Asia, as many countries in the Gulf region are now trying to replace expats in their workforce with locals. And here we should know about the Saudi Arabia law, which was called Nitakat, which was a Saudization scheme which introduced quotas in the workforce in 2011. So 10% quotas were introduced for the locals in private sector jobs. We'll see this later in the key concept section. And the editorial says that similarly, Oman has also proposed a phased reduction of expats in its workforce. So one thing that is common to all these Gulf Cooperation Council countries is their economy boomed after the discovery of oil. But because they were lacking in skilled workforce, they invited a lot of expatriate workers from all over the world, and especially from the subcontinent. And it was a win-win situation, as the Gulf Cooperation Council countries gained workforce while the subcontinent was able to place its population in better jobs and also earn remittance income from these people. So it was a win-win. But now with the economic downturn in the whole world, and especially with the downturn in the oil prices and the demand of oil, the economy of all these Gulf countries has taken a hit, and there is a growing demand for jobs for locals. And that is leading to such drives where the countries are now focusing to give jobs only to their local people. And the editorial says the same thing, that the expat workers went to Gulf countries to build and run these economies following the oil boom of 1960s and 70s. And they were welcomed because the local population either lacked the necessary skills or the will to meet the needs of the new economy. And it was a win-win situation for both sides, the subcontinent as well as for these GCC countries. And here the editorial gives the example of Kerala, which built on its historic relations with the Gulf region, and the remittances from the Gulf boosted the Kerala economy and even funding its welfare schemes, and also helped in checking unemployment in the state. Similarly, there are many places in the country which have benefited from the ties with the Gulf countries. But this symbiotic relationship is now under strain, and the editorial points out two factors for this. One factor is the national economies in the Gulf are slowing down and forcing the companies to lay off people. And second factor is that these countries now host a large indigenous population in the working age group that needs jobs, and the expatriates are the soft targets. And the editorial says that while the nationalization of the workforce is an ambitious project, it is doubtful if the Emirates such as Kuwait with small populations and even smaller pools of skilled workers can keep the largely consumption driven economies afloat without expat workers. So it is not going to be easy for countries like Kuwait to totally let go of the expatriates, because it brings benefit to both sides, and it is not that only the expats are benefiting in this deal. Finally, the editorial says that states such as Kerala are gearing to address the influx of migrant workers from the Gulf and it has announced a project called Dream Kerala to support the returning workers and to augment the existing welfare measures for non-resident Indians. And in the end, editorial says that over 1.5 lakh people have returned from the Gulf countries after the outbreak of COVID-19. And out of these 1.5 lakh people, close to 70,000 have lost their jobs. So the challenge for the central government and for these state governments is going to be enormous. And proper planning will need to be done to make sure that this crisis is turned into an opportunity by making use of the human resource which is skilled and coming back to India. So these were in the key points of the editorial. Now let us look at the key concepts. So let us see about the Indian expatriates in Kuwait. So they form the largest expat community in Kuwait with population of close to 1.45 million. And the Indians are working for the Kuwaiti government in various jobs like nurses, engineers, and also as scientists. But the majority of the Indians are deployed in the private sector. And the remittance that India received from Kuwait in 2018 was close to $4.8 billion. If we look at the Indian expatriates in Gulf countries, then we find that since the 1970s oil boom, Indian migration to the Gulf has served as a valuable source of income and also as the backbone of the economies of high migration states such as Kerala through transfer of remittances. Also during this time, the Indian migrant worker have made substantial contributions to the economic development of these Gulf states. And around 8.5 million Indians live and work in the Gulf countries, which is a significant figure. And if we look at the remittance figure for 2018, India received the highest remittance of $78.6 billion. But if we see the latest trend, then Indians headed to Gulf for employment, the numbers have reduced to 3.7 lakh in 2017 from 7.6 lakh in 2015. And this has been largely due to the recent immigration policies adopted by Gulf countries, such as Nitakat scheme by Saudi Arab, which aims at promoting job opportunities for locals. Now let us look at the Nitakat law. So Nitakat, meaning naturalization law, is the policy enacted by Saudi Arab in 2011, which reserves 10% of the private jobs for the locals. And this law makes it mandatory for the local companies to hire one Saudi national for every 10 migrant workers. So after this, let us look at the kind of questions that can be asked in prelims and mains. So in prelims, you can be asked a question on Kuwait, about its location. So one should be very clear whether it is a member of the Gulf Cooperation Council, how many members are in Gulf Cooperation Council, when it was formed, where is its headquarters. So all these questions we should be clear. Then a question can also be on this draft law and what it proposes to do. So it proposes to restrict the number of Indian expatriates to 15% of the local population. Then we should also be knowing about West Asia, the countries which are comprising the region. In mains, the question can be on Think West policy of India. Also a question can be on the Indian expatriates now returning from Gulf Cooperation Council countries. So what are the challenges for India and what are the opportunities in it for India? Also a question can be on what are the factors behind the anti-expatriate sentiments which is seen to be on the rise in Gulf region. So on all these questions we should be prepared. So this was all in today's editorial analysis. We'll see you next time with another editorial. Thank you.